Hello YouTube, it's Rom from Ramen Noodles TCG, and I am here in Richmond for the YCS. I just finished up day 2, and I made day 2 at the Genesys Proto YCS, but I did not top. I finished in the top 64 at a 230 player event, so I did well, but not amazing. But I am here to share the deck that I did it with and talk about my matchups a little bit. So I played Invoked Dracotail. This is an updated version of the deck I profiled previously, but with the new cards from Burst Protocol and some different tech cards and such. So starting off with the Dracotail monsters, we have 3 copies of Lucius, 2 copies of Frazul, 1 Malulu, and 1 Phimena for the little Dracotails. The Dracotails all set an archetypal spell or trap from the deck when they're used as fusion material. That is the main gimmick of this deck. Obviously, Lucius is the main searcher, so we play 3. Frazul is Wolfbark, but the reason we're playing 2 instead of 1, which is standard, is because Frazul is a light, and since we're playing Invoked Dracotail, we want the extra light for Mechaba. I am playing 1 Malulu for 5 points, and I am playing 1 Phimena for 30. So this is 35 right here. Malulu is also a viable normal summon, but it's not amazing. It's quick effect diffusion while it's on the field. It makes Dracotail fusions only, so it's a little restrictive. But you do want to be searching this and sending this for your combos, so obviously we do play it. And Phimena is the best card in the deck. She's just polymerization as a hand trap. That's why she's 30. Very, very broken card. For the big Dracotail dragons, we have 3 copies of Urgula and 3 copies of Pan. So these are both unpointed, and these are removal. Urgula pops back row, Pan pops monsters. You can actually pop your own cards with these as well. Pan popping your own monsters can come up for very specific combo lines. I didn't do that in the event, but it does happen. Urgula adds back a Dracotail by putting itself on the bottom of the deck, and when your fusion dies, Pan can put itself on the bottom of the deck to revive a non-fusion Dracotail from the graveyard. So yeah, these are removal. They are part of your setup. They're just good cards. The reason we're playing so many, the TCG cuts down on these. Because we're in Genesys, we just need to play a heavier engine count. So we're playing this plus like more fusion spells, just for consistency reasons. Speaking of the fusion spells, we have the Dracotail fusion spells. We have Rahu Dracotail. This is unpointed for some ungodly reason. This card is broken. It's like Mitsurugi Ritual as a fusion spell. It's absolutely absurd. Being able to send one of your Dracotails from deck gets your whole engine going. Yeah, this is an incredible breaker. It starts combos. It does everything. Ketu Dracotail is the searcher, but going second, it's also a fusion spell when your opponent controls a monster. So we're playing 2 copies of this for 15 points each. The reason I went with 2 Ketu is because we want to be seeing it going second. It's just a very powerful card like that. But also, when we go second, we want to be siding out of some of the traps, but we still want enough names to be able to set, to have comfortable grind game, even after siding out the traps going second. So yeah, that is fairly standard, except for the 1 Frazul. And we have, obviously, the 1 Sting, the 1 Horn, the 1 Flame. You set up these back row going first, and they are removal. removal, and they are disruption that also draws you a card. So they help recoup some advantage. Very good. You play all three of these. You decide to side these out in certain matchups. You side out individual traps going second. You usually side down to 1 or 2 traps going second, depending on the matchup. Now for the Invoked engine, we are obviously playing 3 copies of Magical Meltdown. This card is incredibly broken. Your opponent cannot respond when you fusion summon a monster, so this helps play through hand traps. If you have Meltdown plus Rahu, you're able to freely play through Crow and Meister and Bell and Mourner. This just kind of says, go do the thing, and then you get to do the thing. Whoa, mind blown. But yeah, this card is absolutely absurd. This is the reason to play the deck, is Meltdown. Now, obviously, we play our 3 Alistair the Invoker. You have to play 3 Alistair, I think. It's really weird not to, because we're playing 3 Meltdown. This is the search target for it. You can side out an Alistair going second, though, because we want to be siding out our normal summons a little bit. But as strange as this sounds, Alistair actually becomes a stronger normal summon going second, but only because of Meltdown. So, obviously, to pair with the Alistairs, I'm playing 2 copies of Invocation. So, Invocation can just be a regular fusion spell that fuses stuff from hand, or when you make an Invoked fusion, you can banish Alistair from field and monsters from either graveyard as fusion material. So, oftentimes going second, you will Meltdown for Alistair, normal Alistair, grab Invocation. You will Invocation into a Dracotail fusion, usually, depending on what your hand is, usually Gulamel? Yeah, usually Gulamel, to break the board. And then you're going to set Ketu, and then you're going to flip Ketu, and then you're going to search a dragon, fuse the dragon and the Alistair into Secretarian Dragon, and then continue playing that way. So after you've broken the board, you have the Secretarian Dragon bringing back something for follow-up. So that's like the main line with Alistair there. You actually don't normal Alistair too much going first, because the lines get really, really weird. Speaking of weird lines, we have Crowley, the Gifted Magistus. So this card is crazy for going first combo lines. You can use it going second, but I generally side either one or both of these out going second for various staples. If you add this back off of Arthalion, it triggers to summon itself, and then on summon, it performs a fusion summon of an Invoked or Magistus fusion monster, and it treats itself as Alistair when on the field, so you can make Mechaba with this, but you can also make Magistus fusions with this. And that does come up. I'll talk about that when we get to the extra deck. So with the remaining slots, I decided to play 4 hand traps in the main deck. I am playing 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and 2 copies of Ghost Mourner. So Mourner is very generic, just being a Veiler type card that is 3 points each. Ghost Ogre is good against decks like Vanquish Soul, Archmage, and Lunalight, and has applications in other matchups as well. And it's also a light for Mechaba. So I spent 12 points on this hand trap lineup, with more free hand traps in the side for extra coverage. Rounding out the main deck, I am playing some extenders. I am playing 2 copies of King of the Swamp and 2 Polymerization, alongside a Shuttle Beast. So the Shuttle Beast is just a draw 1. It's free advantage, and we're playing some more Shuttles in the side deck, so Beast is important for that. King of the Swamp is a polymerization searcher, but it also copies the name of a named monster on a fusion, so this can become Alistair. If you have King of the Swamp plus Invocation, you're able to banish this like you would banish Alistair. So the reason I bumped polymerization up from 1 to 2 is because being able to King of the Swamp for poly, add back the King of the Swamp, and then search poly again is really good for certain high ceiling combos. They don't happen all that often, but like they're crazy when you go off. You're able to like make a big board. Also, you just want more fusion spells to push through stuff going second. So yeah, that is it for the 40 card main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we are playing one copy of Arthalion. This card is 30 points. It's incredible because it adds back cards from your graveyard and is able to bounce cards your opponent controls. So all of the Dracotail monsters, the Dracotail fusions, revive themselves when two monsters are sent to the graveyard at the same time. So it's good to get like an extra piece of material using Arthalion, you know, as the extra piece of material. So yeah, good card. You're able to recycle this with your traps and or Secretarian Dragon. I'm also playing the one copy of the new card, Dracotail Shaulas. So Shaulas is really good for recycling. Also helps break boards because it can shuffle cards your opponent controls into the deck as long as you're able to get a Dracotail card into the graveyard, which is very, very easy. So Shaulas is great to break boards and also recycle your stuff for the grind game. You only play one, obviously, and that took the place of the third Gulamel that we were playing in our previous list. 2 Gulamel is perfectly fine. It's an endboard piece because it pops stuff when you activate a Dracotail card. So moving on to the Invoked fusions, we have 2 copies of Invoked Mechaba. This is the main Invoked fusion. It's the big negate guy. Discard to negate and banish a thing. Very, very good indeed. We have Invoked Purgatrio. This guy attacks all monsters your opponent controls. Very good to clear boards. We are playing Invoked Cositis. Because it's a dragon, this is the only Invoked fusion you can summon with 5 mana. So if you normal Alistair and your opponent failures it, you can chain 5 mana to fuse off that and Gulamel for Cositis. It hasn't come up yet, but it might. This might be cuttable, to be honest. Then we have Invoked Raijin. So Raijin is Book of Moon and uses a wind monster, so you make this with Pan. Pretty good stuff. It's a decent endboard piece. I've made it a couple times. And then we have the new card, Invoked Magistus Omega. So this card is really, really good. Not only is it on summon removal, but when it is destroyed, you can summon a level 4 spellcaster from the deck. So this either summons Lucius or Gifted Crowley. So there are some combo lines where you use Pan to pop your own Invoked Magistus Omega to summon Crowley from the deck to make Verda Throgna in hands where you actually don't open open the Crowley, which is kind of cool. It's a very high ceiling combo line. That doesn't come up, but this does come up in like turn 3 scenarios where you're trying to grind your opponent out. You need to break a board by like crashing this into something and then summoning a guy and then just like generating more resources. We're playing 2 copies of Secretarian Dragon to start off our generic fusions. Secretarian Dragon is genuinely one of the best cards in the extra deck. It comes up all the time. That's why I had to buy a second one to play a second one. Because I only owned one before this. But this card is crazy. It's able to recycle your stuff and revive. So you're able to trigger Lucius in hands where you started by normal summoning Alistair. So that's a nice piece of advantage generation. The combo lines around this are really, really weird. I honestly made a lot of mistakes doing this. I was struggling a lot. Things were fine day one. I think I played pretty well day one, to be honest. But day two, I started to crack. The pressure really got to me, and I started making way more misplays. Yeah, this was a bit of a tough one for me, doing these weird secretarian lines. We have the Zoroa, the Magistus Verithrogna. So Verithrogna is a monster negate that you make with Crowley, and you attach the Crowley, and then it's just a monster negate that doesn't tribute. It just kind of stays on board because you send the Crowley instead. Pretty cool. We have Mysterion the Dragon Crown. I actually summoned this against Monarch. It beats stuff like Tessera, and I guess it doesn't come up that much, but it can. It's decent in the mirror, I suppose. Yeah, and then we have the Shaddoll Construct for the Shaddoll Fusion in the side. Moving on to the side deck, we have some breakers, including Shaddoll Fusion. Shout out to Eli for gifting me these 3 Shaddoll Fusion. He's a good friend and a fan of the channel, so thank you, Eli T. We have the Shaddoll Dragon to go with it. This pops a back row. So essentially, you Shaddoll Fusion for Construct, sending Fryzul and Dragon. You pop a back row, and then you're able to Construct send Beast, which gets you a draw. So it's like Ultimate Slayer at home, but for back row. But it's also a Searcher. So yeah, this is kind of broken. A lot of people were main decking this and playing like a Shaddoll Dracotail strategy. I didn't like that. I tried it. I wasn't a fan, so I decided to side them. We are playing 2 copies of Thunder King the Lightning Strike Kaiju. I only had space for 2 Kaijus in the side, and we wanted a light Kaiju because you can send it when you make Construct and then add it back off of our Thalion to out Towers monsters like Magnus. I didn't face any Towers monsters. Actually, no. I played against Pearly in day 1. I cooked Pearly with this. Although he didn't make Noir, he passed on Plump. I don't know, bruh. And for the final board breaker, we're playing 3 Cosmic. So I consider this a board breaker because I sided in going second to beat the Floodgates. I can force out Cool Tune back row and pop Dimensional Fissure, which is what this is actually for. Dimensional Fissure is really good against this deck, so we need outs to it. That's why the 3 Cosmic. Moving on to hand traps, I am playing 3 copies of DD Crow. So Crow is the best free hand trap of the format. It's good against like Fire King. It's pretty good in the mirror. It's okay against Radiant Typhoon. Yeah, it's decent. I side it because I don't like maining it. I don't have space for more than 4 hand traps main. Sounds kind of silly, but post-side, this deck becomes a monster. I'm playing 2 copies of Vados, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction. This card pops field spells, and then when it summons to your opponent's field, and then when this card is sent to your graveyard, it blows up the board. So this is really good against Vanquished Soul. And yeah, you pop start so they can't get to Snow Devil. Snow Devil is a big problem for this deck because we lack some non-destruction removal. Because Showless targets, so the opponent can chain to it to stop the Showless from resolving. So yeah, we want to be able to stop the start before the opponent is able to resolve Snow Devil. Now, for the final card in my side deck, I thought long and hard about it, and then I was hearing some rumblings about a very specific tech card to beat Vanquished Soul, and I decided to give it a go. I played Junk Haribo. Now, don't laugh. This card negates a burn effect and destroys it. So when your opponent activates Snow Devil, you chain Junk Haribo to negate the Snow Devil. Giga Chad. So this is mostly talked about in the Vanquish Soul mirror, but I decided to play it in Dracotail. I never saw any Vanquish Soul. I just never played against the deck, so I didn't bring this in. I wish this was something else. Maybe Skullmeister would have been better. I maybe needed a more Exo Hate, but I don't even know what Exo Hate would look like. Maybe I should have been playing something like Mistaken Arrest. Everybody's playing it. I don't like Mistaken Arrest in this deck because we do a lot of searching ourselves, but like when you're going first, you just flip Mistaken Arrest and win the game, so maybe I should be playing Mistaken Arrest. Because I really don't have anything for going first. I didn't think I needed anything for going first, to be honest. This deck makes a really good board, so yeah. I guess going over the matchups, I played against a lot of Rogue day one. I beat the hero guy who summoned Air Neos against me at Pittsburgh. That was pretty cool, but he bricked twice, so that was not cool. Not a very fun match, unfortunately. I played against Eldritch in round 2. Yeah, that's a really good matchup for Dracotail. That is very much kind of an easy win because Urgula doesn't target and Magical Meltdown is just broken. This deck shreds Backward X. As I probably talked about in the Eldritch video. Yeah, so that was not too hard. I played against Pearly in round 3. The Pearly player wasn't all that good, to be honest. The guy's list was really weird. He was on 44, which in Pearly consistency is key. You need to see your memories, so you never go above 40. So yeah. I played against Despia Darklord in round 4. That was a pretty cool deck. I almost broke the board and won 2-0, but I ended up messing up, and we went to a game 3, and I was able to clutch out the game 3. Round 5, I had the feature match against Monarch. This was against quote-unquote fair Monarch, or as I like to call it, the benevolent Monarch. It's Monarch that's not playing Zaborg, Mega Zaborg. It's not playing the Thestalos hand loop, and it's not playing Domain. So he was just playing 3 Pot of Greed and just making a normal end board. I opened a pretty bad hand in game 2. After getting washed game 1 because I didn't open any hand traps. But I was actually able to win just by using Mysterion and my superior knowledge of the Monarch matchup in order to effectively use all of my back row in order to negate exactly what I needed to negate in order to win the game. You always want to save it for the Revolt. You always want to save Flame for Revolt, generally. Like, I didn't have anything good on board, so I didn't negate Stormforth, I didn't negate Pot of Greed, because Monarch will just draw into more bricks, right? Surely. And I had Crow for the Pantheism, and then I top-decked Crow off of Horn to stop Pantheism again. I was able to block my opponent from searching off of Master Plan with Horn Bounce my own monster, that kind of stuff. I made Secretarian Dragon to stop my opponent from resolving Eidos. Yeah, I played that really well, and then in game 3, I got into my own head, and we were running low on time because I was a little too chatty during the match. I feel kind of bad about that. My opponent makes the board. I start breaking it. A big chain happens, and then I forget to Urgula pop Monarch's Perfectionism. And I lose the game. So yeah, that was pretty embarrassing to punt a feature match like that. But I was able to take it in stride and beat Elf Note Centurion in round 6. My opponent just died to one hand trap in game 2. It was a little unfortunate, but I mean, what can you do? Round 7, I get completely waxed by Radiant Typhoon. I lost the die roll and just kind of got hosed. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Sheena was actually what did me in game 1. I think I was doing pretty well, and then I got hit with Sheena and then died. Because my opponent bounced back a bunch of main deck monsters, and he had like an 8-card hand, and I couldn't grind him out. And then I get like Giga killed in game 2. In round 8, I lose the die roll against Elf Note Cool Tune. I almost managed to break the board game 1. I make a big old board game 2, and then in game 3 he makes me go first, and then I just kind of pass on Secretarian Dragon with Hornset and Gulamel, I guess, and apparently that was enough. So yeah, and then in round 9, I choked in the mirror, the Dracotail mirror. I win game 1 off the back of Secretarian Dragon. Round 2, I get... Or not round 2. Game 2, I get hit with Mistaken Arrest. And then in game 3, I just Giga punt. Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then in round 9... my opponent resolves Mega Zaborg against me. I scoop it up instantly, and then I mess up my combo in game 2 and just get waxed again. So at that point, I just dropped, in round 10, excuse me. Yeah, I went to go play side events. I entered Giant card with Monarch, and then got shifted by Vanquish Soul. So, yeah. That was my YCX experience. Not great, but I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile regardless. This deck is really good. I like this variant of Dracotail a lot. I know other people have their takes on Dracotail, but this is, and probably will always be, my favorite. So thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.